Hello everyone, so this is another Valentine's Day process video, and this card's going to have quite a bit of mistakes in it, so I hope you just go along for the ride and see my process. So here at the beginning I just wanted to do some die cutting, and you briefly saw there I used the Bow Bunny head over heels paper pad, and I'm using that to do some die cutting, and I'm going to use the spellbinders. I believe that's the Blossom 4 die, and here I'm using the biggest one, and I wanted it to use it as a frame, so I did use some washi tape to hold it down so it wouldn't move around inside the machine. And here I'm using a red sheet, which was also from that paper pad, and I also wanted to make a little border for the frame on the inside. So again, I just used the same little washi tape to hold it down, and I ran it through my cuddle bug. And there you can see it gives me a nice little frame. So that's what I was going for. Now here I have my card base, and this is a 6x6, or no, it's a 6x12 inch sheet, and then I folded it in half so it would be 6x6, although at the end I do end up cutting off a piece, so the card ends up being around 5 3/4 by 6 inches. And here I just added some ATG tape to my paper, and I made a mistake. Here's my first mistake. I added the paper before I added the grass, because I wanted to add the grass behind that border. That way I wouldn't have to die cut it, but yeah, I made that mistake and it was already adhered down and I couldn't pull it off. So here I'm just going to adhere that grass, and that's the Lawn Fawn Grassy Border die, and I'm just going to adhere it straight onto the die cut and cut off the excess since it was too late for me to just tuck it behind the red sheet. So I just cut off the excess. It wasn't too big of a deal, although at the time I was pretty peeved because I adhered that red paper too early. But it came out fine, so there I just lined it up to make sure it was even in there, and now I'm just adding some ATG tape to this little love bug stamp, and I had stamped that out. That's an Inka Dinka Doo dollar stamp, which I got it at Joann's a few years ago, and I just adhered that. And here I was fiddling around with the Lawn Fawn Bugs and Kisses stamp set to see if I wanted to stamp something on there, but I ended up putting it away, and I'll use it later on in the card. So now I'm adhering that little die cut piece. And before I adhere it, I decided to get my We Are Memory Keepers Sweetheart Inker. This is the pink color. It's like a hot pink color. And I just went around the edges so it would stand out a little bit more. And then I adhered it. And now I'll put down this black paper as my frame on there, and just lay that down. Now here again, I don't end up using this, but I was wanting to use it because I like the dots on it, but it just didn't work out. It was making it look too busy. So I tried to die cut a piece of cardstock, and just like the same piece of cardstock, I flipped it over to use the white side, but again it just wasn't working out. But you'll see how it goes. I mean, not every card is going to just flow nicely. A lot of the cards that I make, I have lots of mistakes and things I have to pull off and hope that the adhesive hasn't stuck down too much and I can pull it off. So here I even added some washi tape, and I added a border at the top. Again, I was looking a little bit too busy, so I'll end up pulling that off in a bit. So here I was adding some hearts and looking through my ladybug stickers and just trying to figure out what I wanted to do, because I really didn't have a clear idea of what I was making here. I was just going with the flow, and some of the things that I did I wasn't liking. So here I did add some little die cuts, which I end up pulling off as well. Yeah, I know this is like a hot mess, but that's how my process usually is. It's just trial and error. So now I stamped out these little Lawn Fawn ladybugs, and that was from the Bugs and Kisses stamp set that you saw previously. And I pulled off the little die cut pieces, and here I pull off the little flower border, and there I decided to put the little heart there right next to the love bug, and that does stay there for the rest of the card. But here I just stamped out those little ladybugs, and I'm coloring them in now, which was another mistake because at the end I end up just putting stickles and black enamel accents on it, so you can't even see what I colored. So yeah, I really didn't need to color that, but I did. So they're all my little colored ladybugs, and I wanted to add some little rhinestones, and I found some nice red ones in my stash, so I just added those to the outer border of that frame. And here are just some little black ones that I also added just to go along with the theme of the ladybugs. Now I wanted to add this ladybug from Dollar Tree stickers, and it was just looking really busy with that border down there, so you'll see in a bit that I just took off that whole border, and luckily it hadn't adhered too well onto the cardstock, and I was able to pull it off without messing up the card. Now I added some little sticko glittery hearts on there, and I was just going through my stash of heart sequins to see which one fit there, and I added this smaller one. I had gotten those at Target, and there you can see I cut off the bottom piece. I didn't even show that part, but I ended up just taking off the border piece and cutting off that part. So now the card is about 5 3/4 by 6 inches. Now I stamped out the Bugs and Kisses stamp off camera. That's from the Lawn Fawn Bugs and Kisses stamp, which I showed before. And here I'm just using those little pieces from the frame that had cut out, the little leftover pieces. I put them on the inside. And I'm just cutting off the excess of that. And here I pulled out some stickers from Walmart, and I'd gotten these about a week or so ago. And it has these cute little ladybugs on there, so I thought I would just put those inside the card. And that finished off the inside. Excuse me. So there, I added some little flat pack pearls to the bottom. And I had already put away my glossy accents, and I was lazy and didn't want to get up to get it. So I had these black enamel accents nearby, so I just used those, and that adhered it well, so I just used that. Now I'm going to put some stickles on the ladybugs. I want them to stand out a little bit more. And I'll do that for all of them. So I just put those, and those are the burgundy stickles, and I like that it made them pop out a little more. And there I did the rest of them off camera, and I added some black enamel accents for their body and head and their little black spots. And I'm not sure how well it'll pick it up on camera, but I did that, and I also added some black enamel accents to the ladybug in the center. And I was glad that I took off the border, because I think that that border down there, it took away from the centerpiece, and I wanted the bug to be the focal point. So that is my card. Thanks for watching. Bye!